Do it. Let me unmute these guys right here. But once again, welcome to episode of Damage per Second podcast. I believe I'm on even now because if I remember correctly, we didn't have a
No,
show.
this is
Is it still
185.
also did we count the we did. We
We
actually counted
counted
we
the
counted the
yeah.
stream. We did count the stream. Okay, so that's why. So 185 of Damage per Second podcast. You heard him, the man, the myth, the legend, the man, the mini slaps, the man, slow back slap. And first of all, I want to say thanks to everybody coming through early. Your boy has some stuff that couldn't get moved later on in the day that I'm super happy to get the freak out the way so I could get back to a normal life again. So we're doing the show early, and I'm definitely happy to see all you guys here today. But with that being said, you heard him, Slow Mo. How you doing? What's going on with you? And what should be going on with you? What's been up to? I mean, I should say.
Just playing games, beating games, things that gamers do, some people can't relate. But no, I've been playing games. Been making some changes to the YouTube channel. So for those who are, following the channel, I put out a channel update on Monday, kind of under like really just explaining why there will be some things that are different with the channel. I don't want to bog the entire podcast down with that, but like if you want to check that out, go do so to get like a full explanation of what I'm doing. But I am excited for the new direction, and I already put a video out about Dragon Age Veilguard, which kind of gets into the gameplay changes from the previous Dragon Age games and the skill trees that they got. So really happy with that one. Just playing games and focusing on games and not, platforms and what platforms are doing and making platforms the higher priority instead of me playing games as a consumer. You know,
Yeah,
that's just free food for anybody who needs it. Anyway, no, but I beat Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on PC. 4K, really kind of like 4K 80 FPS with max with like frame generation on and DLSS quality with max ray tracing. Look fantastic. Had a
what
good
made you go
time
back
with
and do
it.
that?
Forgot. Well, I bought it and it's just been installed ever since I bought it. And I just like, I was already like halfway through the game and I just said, you know what? Like I need to free up some space
Yeah.
on for games that are coming out soon, like First Descendant, stuff like that. And I said, you know what? Instead of uninstalling games, let me just actually beat some of these games that every time
You
I look at the icon, I
yeah,
say, I'm gonna beat that game. That's why I'm not
yeah,
going to uninstall it. But like
yeah.
then I don't do it. So it's just like, all right, well, let me just go ahead and do it.
I was
So
gonna I was gonna say that's actually something unique because most people would have just looked at that game and then just right click and uninstalled it without even
right.
thinking about beating it.
And I've done that a few times with other games that I just really don't have any desire to play. But like every time I looked at Ratchet and Clank, I was like, yeah, man, I really like this game. I need to go ahead and just, finish my second playthrough of it. And so, yeah, I had a good time with it. And I beat that. I have been messing around in Elden Ring. One of my Elden Ring characters I didn't realize had did nothing in Caelid. And so earlier today, I just ran through Caelid with that character, which is that character is so overpowered at this point.
How do you
And
have
one
a
of my,
character with over 200 hours in it and not touched every piece of the game with that character?
well, that specific character only has 70 hours in that playthrough. I have like
Uh,
total on hours on PlayStation for Elden Ring. I have probably around 700, probably over 700 now I think about it. But like that's over the course of like four different characters, technically five, because I created one just to be able to record cutscenes back when I did my review of it, but I haven't touched that one since. I just wanted to make sure over the past maybe month and a half that I had all four of my actual characters that I have been playing the game with that have very different builds. All four of them were DLC Shadow of the Earth Tree ready, and they all are. I just was just like kind of bored because I'm really itching to get into Earth Tree tonight or tomorrow, whatever. and I just figured, let me just go play the game, and I did that, and I reinstalled the Elden Ring on PC. And then I put on the unlock frame rate mod, and I just was just running through it. Like I'm probably over there where the for those who've played the game, the academy, the Rhea Luceria Academy, that part of the game. Um, that game looks so like on PC. I'm playing it 4K, 120 frames per second with ray tracing on. And the art of that game is so good, and just going from like the very like literal going from the Elden Ring on PlayStation to the Elden Ring on PC. Some of the drawbacks that they had to do on consoles to get it running on consoles at 60 frames per second, it's just so apparent, because like I would be on torrent, which is the horse, and I'm riding through like a grassy area, and I'm seeing the grass just appear in front of me.
Is
Like the
more a
draw
horse or a pony?
distances. I guess he's kind of a pony, torrent, but we will call him a horse because I like torrent. So he's a horse. Yeah, he's a horse, of course.
What color? He's a horse, of course.
But no, but it's just like I'm watching the grass appear like as I'm like approaching it, because the draw distance is abysmal. But then I look on, like I'm playing it on around the same areas on PC, and I'm like, the draw distance is like all the way out. There is no pop-ups happening anywhere. It's actual like 4K. It's freaking beautiful. Beautiful game. And I can't wait to get into the Archery tomorrow, something like that, whatever.
It's tonight.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, from what I'm hearing, I don't know for certain, but from what I'm hearing, the final boss is supposed to be the hardest boss in Souls history. I said, yes, let's do it. And that's like equal parts me being excited to take up that challenge, and equal parts horrified when I die like 5,000 times.
I was gonna so not knowing what the boss is or even seeing it, and everybody telling you it's literally the hardest boss ever. What if you had to put an over and under a number? What number? Like, not even knowing what it is, do you think you do you think you'll beat that boss within 100 tries?
Yeah. Within 100, I beat Millennia in like, it was less than 20. My first time fighting her.
True gamer right there. Was that?
But I mean, look, I didn't fight her the way, say, like other people. Like other people fought her, no mimic tier, no support, nothing, just them straight up. Look, you put it in the game, I'm gonna use it. I don't care.
You sound like all the assists.
Yeah, and people can call me whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to be banging my head against the wall for 5,000 hours while you, like, I seen dudes on stream like lose 200, 500 times. I ain't got time for all that.
No, I ain't got time for that.
Nah, man, go ahead, drop that mimic tier. We about to tag team this shit. And even then, like, like she wasn't no joke. Like half the time my mimic is dead in the first phase, so I'm still fighting her solo anyway. But it's just, whatever edge I can get, I'm gonna take it.
Doesn't your mimic draw more aggro than anything?
It depends. Like so there's the mimic tier, which is literally your character, your entire loadout levels and all that. Like, but it's like it was initially in the very first version of the game, it was too good. The AI in it was too good. It was so good that people was just dropping their mimic tier and sitting in the back and watching their mimic wash a boss. Right. and From Software was like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. So they nerfed it. They make your mimic kind of stupid now. And so your mimic doesn't really do what it used to do. It's more just kind of face tanking of the enemy. So like if anything, you could use it as like a distraction so that you can, you know, get some nice hits, nice attacks on the boss. But there's that one. Sometimes the Black Knife Teach is the name of that one, where it's a Black Knife assassin as a what's the technical term of? I can't remember, but the Black Knife assassin is less aggressive than your mimic, but smarter and does damage over time. So it kind of just depends on who the boss is, who you might want to use.
Oh, I need
But
one of those.
yeah, but look, one of the hardest fights I had was getting the Black Knife Teach, because you gotta go to, you know, like I forgot what they call them, but it's like these little circles, and they're actually prisons within
Ever
the
jails.
game. The ever jails, and so you go there and you gotta kill the boss in there to get the summon for it. And yeah, I may have that may have been the most times I have died in Elden Ring. And I know that may sound weird to some people, because, you know, like our friend Luca may have beat that boss in one try or a few tries. But for me, it was just, I don't know what it was. It was something about that fight that like was just tugging at my weaknesses, and I was just getting, I think it was because I was really playing late too. I think it was partially I was tired and frustrated and not playing smart. But like I eventually finally got it, and all my other characters that I beat that one with didn't have a problem. But yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the DLC. Like, it's not just the final boss in Eric Tree. Apparently, all the bosses are much harder. And like, shout out to Erica Cuts for the win. Erica did an interview, not interview, but a review for Elden Ring. And in her review, it's still a review in progress because she hasn't beat the DLC. And 40 hours in, she still hasn't beat it. Now, I don't know if that's because she's like trying to be as thorough as possible, or maybe she just was kind of struggling a little bit, which is nothing wrong with that.
She said she did some farming.
Farming, yeah. See, look, you get, if you feel like you need to farm, yeah. And all my characters are like at levels between 180 and 210. So
you definitely was doing the glitch.
What glitch?
What's the name exploit that everybody was doing early in the game?
Yo, what exploit is that? Because I need it.
What the heck was that exploit called? The one where you would get just massive amounts of XP before they nerfed it or something?
No, they haven't nerfed any farming, any rune farming that I know of. There's obviously 3 rune farming areas in the game. When you first playing early on, there's like this soldier camp that you come into in Limgrave. You can kill all those soldiers and then go, and there's a grace right near it, and you just go to the grace and just restart and do that enough to kind of get your first levels up. Then after that, you can take a portal to an area that you're not even like strong enough to fight in, and then there's this where you kind of go down a hill, and then you avoid this boulder that comes out of nowhere. And when that boulder goes over the cliff, you get all these runes, and that's the one that people pretty much grind that one, rune farm that one until like maybe level 50, and then after that, like go kill bosses. Go kill bosses, get better at the game, get some there's actually like YouTube videos that kind of show you how to like take like certain paths where you don't have to fight anybody. And within 2 hours you can just get all these like these I forgot what they call them, but like these runes that you break, and then they give you a bunch of runes. You can do that and get up to like level 30 without even killing a single enemy. There's just so many different methods and ways that people have kind of like figured out the game to kind of get yourself up. Now, what I did to get the most is I farmed the bird. That might be
That's
what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. The bird farm.
So they haven't nerfed that because I think they understand. Hey, no, like I so you stand on the cliff, you take out a bow and arrow, you hit a bird with an arrow, the bird flips out because it can't find you, and then it just runs itself off the cliff, and that gives you a ton of runes. And then there's a bunch of these little guys. I can't remember their names there, but they just kind of chilling. Yeah, and they're just kind of sunbathing. Yeah, they're just sunbathing, and then you just roll up and you just kill them all. And they give you like 2,000 runes per kill. And you just keep doing that until you level up to however you want to get. But like literally everyone's played the game. That's what they do. They farm that particular farm because that's the best one in the game. It's nothing wrong with it, but you still gotta beat the bosses.
You gotta beat the bosses, right?
You still gotta beat the boss. You still gotta beat the game. Like doing a farm ain't gonna get you there. So anyway, we do have a guest. I've been rambling.
Yeah, so
Ramon Terrell is back, aka Trevor Birdsong, aka Hallmark Actor of the Year, aka ABC Family Hall of Fame, aka the CW assassin. I just came up with that last one. I don't know where that came from. But what's up, Ramon? How's it going, man?
Hey, yo. Everything is good. Everything is good. So happy to be back. Love being on the show with you guys. So thank you for having me. And yeah, everything has been good. Well, I take that back. 99% of things have been good. Came out of that extremely awesome Xbox show. Excited for Dragon Age series until
let's go.
Yeah, until I ran into something that now has me trying to decide if I'm going to play the series. Slow-mo, you already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's the one blame
advantage. EA, man.
Huh? Oh yeah, most definitely. But yeah, the one advantage that consoles have over PC is playing old games. They still work. On PC, like I even installed that patch, that supposed 4-gig patch that fixes it, and I'm still like crashing and can't load it up, and then yada yada yada. And EA needs you to use their app in order to fire their game up, but then the app wasn't working. And so I was like,
yeah.
So I was so sour that I refunded Dragon Age 2. And thank you, Miko. Shout out to Miko. They said that 1 and 2 were $2.99 or on Steam, and Inquisition $3.99, which so yeah, I got Dragon Age 2, tried about 10 times and couldn't get it to load, so I refunded it. And I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do a recap video on YouTube to see where the story went and play Veilguard, which galls me because I love living the whole series. I don't like going into.
Did you try Inquisition? I mean, because like, look, there is this. So when Inquisition came out, Inquisition was the first game that was 8th gen. Dragon Age games. The previous 2 were 7th gen, and so because they were a different generation, and especially considering on PlayStation how PS3 wasn't very capable of being backwards compatible to the PS4. BioWare came up with this idea for people to bring all their decisions over to Dragon Age Inquisition. And I forgot what they called it because I'm terrible at names today. But there's this website you go to, and then you just kind of you log in on your account, and then you enter in what your choices were for your character. And then you import that, and it's cloud-based. And then you can import that into Dragon Age Inquisition, which is probably the best, most stable Dragon Age on PC right now. And like you, I'm doing my replays of the Dragon Age series leading up to Veilguard, and I attempted it initially on PC, but with the memory leaks, with all the major game breaking bugs. You need literally a dozen mods installed in order for it to play decent.
That's crazy.
And I'm just like, and I own an Xbox where I can just play it backwards compatible. So guess what I did? I reinstalled the games on the Xbox and I'm playing them backwards compatible. Now, when Dragon Age, I loaded up because when Ramon, you were talking about you couldn't play Dragon Age 2. I bought them because they were like, $7. Dragon Age 2 in Inquisition on Steam, and I loaded it up and it loaded up fine. I just had for some reason it wouldn't load up in full screen. I just had to do some adjustments to the video settings, but other than that, it loaded up fine. Whether it plays fine is a whole different story, but at least load it up. And I'm just what I'm going to do is just because I think Dragon Age 2 also had a feature that allows you to just make the choices that you made in Dragon Age Origins and then just kind of go from there. So it's however you want to play, it's fine. But I think they are great RPGs. They're not as popular as the Mass Effect series is, which is fine. But I that doesn't mean they're not of great quality. They are really good games. It's just they're older, and EA for a very long time, like even back when in the day when Origins came out, it was a buggy mess. And we see how they treated Jedi Survivor. So they're very much hit or miss when it comes to their PC ports. And it is what it is, man. I thought Anthem now is probably plays the best on PC. But
that's ironic.
Such a shame.
Well, maybe I'll try Inquisition because that one is no skin off my back. I got it free through Epic Games, so shout out to Epic. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why.
Also,
PC
watch the recap video.
So
you understand, because
first two,
just choosing your choices without any context to what those choices really mean to the stories is not going to give you the full appreciation of Inquisition when you play it.
I couldn't imagine going through Mass Effect and not actually playing it and just doing that whole here's the things that happen and here's how you answer.
That's how I feel. That's how I
feel.
feel.
That's how I don't know how because I literally went back because Mass Effect 2 is just the more superior game, that I couldn't stand the first one at first. I couldn't stand the first one at first, so I went back because I played the second one at the first mission of it, and I was like, oh crap, I have to go back and play the first one. And I was dreading it. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I played through it. But man, just going back and looking at that, I remember when it came to PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 3 didn't have Mass Effect 1 at the time, and the only way you could do it was going through that little story scenario. That sucked, bro. When I saw that, I was like, bro,
that little interactive comic thing they had for them. Yeah.
I was like, there's no emotional attachment to none of this.
Yeah, man. Especially the with what's his name? What's his name? The Krogan.
Talking about Grunt? I mean,
not
Grunt. No, Rex.
Yeah, I mean that is the single. It's very rare I'll make a series of wrong decisions that result in something with a character that I didn't want, and go back and replay the whole game getting up to that to get the result I wanted. That's how much I liked Rex. So yeah, like when I originally bought it on PS3, they had the whole trilogy in a collection. But when I found out that I didn't get to it until PS4, and then when they released the Legendary Edition, I just grabbed that, and then I grabbed it again on PC because it was only like a few bucks.
Yeah,
when it was on sale. So I grabbed it again on PC. So my next playthrough will be that. But
I know we want to move on, but I did want to just say this real quick, because I've been thinking about this for a minute. You know how like the Mass Effect 2 suicide mission is a legendary thing. It is iconic.
It's the greatest mission ever made.
Oh man,
yes.
It's not even a question.
I actually believe the Landsmeet in Dragon Age Origins is almost on par with it.
God damn it.
And this, when we were talking about missing out on things, I just thought about how, like, if you're gonna just do this, website and get all your choices in, and part of the lands meet will be a part of those choices. But like, you're not going to be able to fully experience it. And the lands meet essentially is, there's this entire like civil war going on in the country of Denerim. I'm sorry, Felrelden. Denerim's the capital. And your character is betrayed by another character, one of the antagonists in the game. And this is very unique for really any video game. This is a CRPG-ish, title, where all your enemies you're killing through magic and swords and whatnot. But this guy, you have to beat him through a debate. You have to beat him in almost essentially like a Congress kind of debate, where prior to that you had to do politicking to get certain people on your side, and depending on your choices in that debate, some of those people might betray you. It has literally, like, I remember playing it for my first time, not getting the result I wanted, and then looking up like all the different choices, and I just like, my mind was blown. It was just like how many different ways this could go, where how people could betray you, turn their back on you in a moment's notice, all really determined by the things that you may say to this guy Logain who you're trying to bring down. And it's just it's fantastic. Like, the people who play Dragon Age know, like they know how good it was. And it's just,
That freaking sucks.
that's the kind of stuff that I wish in just a different like frame of like game design that BioWare could still do. Like, when a lot of people want current day BioWare to make like basically exact copies of Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and I'm willing to see them allow them the creative freedom to make whatever the heck they want to make, right? I just want to still get those same kind of iconic moments where they do something that no one's ever done before and they execute it so well. That's what I want to see. Like, it doesn't have to be Dragon Age Origins remake in Dragon Age Veilguard. The next Mass Effect doesn't need to be exactly Mass Effect 2. All I want is for you to be able to blow my mind the way you did with these specific missions and certain events and games that no one has done it like that before. So, you do that and I'm good to go.
Yeah, that's kind of, and before we move on, I think that's exactly how I feel, because I feel like games stand on their own merit, but I also think games are enhanced by the games that came before them, or even the games that come after them. Like, BioShock is one of the best games that's ever been made, but Infinite is enhanced because of the scenarios that you went through in BioShock, and the payoff that happens at the end of Infinite is like all of these callbacks to everything that you ever thought about.
Oh man,
that
yes.
happened inside of BioShock. It was like, as you're watching, it's like BioShock is like such a great game, but then when you like get through Infinite, you're like, bro, all of this is what's happening, and all of this is what's been going on in BioShock, and I didn't know this. And it was like all the way they did, the way Ken Levine just tied all that together in that final game was like,
that's an excellent game, man. I love that game.
I told myself, like, literally in my mind, I was like, BioShock is on a whole nother level, not because of the original game, because the third game that they made tied it all together so perfectly. It just made the franchise amazing. Like, it was already good, but they just I never thought a third game could make the first game just feel even more impactful than it ever felt before. And that's what the third one did for the first one. So that's why I always tell people, it's like, when you get a chance to play these games, like, don't cheat them and don't play, like, don't skip certain ones. Like, if we say a franchise is amazing and you should play the whole franchise. Now, granted, if you don't have a way of playing it because, means and stuff like that, it is what it is. But if you have the opportunity to play some of these great games from the beginning to the end, and because you'll never get the experience that the people had the day that it happened, because technology changes and some of the stuff is kind of cheesy in the way that the storytelling is done, because that has gotten significantly better over the course of the decades and stuff. But in general, the overall blueprint of why that game and why people felt that way about those games are still there, and they still impact people to this day. Like, I remember when we were talking slow mo when the legendary edition came out. I remember being slow, we had this conversation and we were talking about it on the podcast, and we was like, Mass Effect 2 is by far the better game. Well, no,
Mhm.
the best game. But we said, and a lot of people confirm this, but we even told people, we said there's a good chance that people that never played Mass Effect before are going to think the third one's the better game, because
Yep.
because obviously the third one plays the best. It's an
Mhm.
action game from beginning to end, because guess what? All the stakes are already on the table. There's no character building. There's no world building. They're just saying, hey, 0 to 100, you're being attacked on Earth. Here come the Reapers, and everything is already out there for you to do. There's no expedition being done in that game, and it's amazing for what it is. So we even said it, when people got a chance to play all three back after back after back, they'll get to that third one and you'll be like, bro, this third one was freaking incredible.
I can weigh
Yeah.
in on that as somebody who hadn't played the series until the Legendary Edition. And I mean, I guess I could understand how new people to the series would feel that way, but I can't fathom that. I would
I can't
place,
either.
I would, number one and number two are a really close race for me, because number one, the RPG elements really kind of like, they really cement you into that whole world and all the characters. That's where you first meet Rex, and you're just like, you do the wrong thing. You're like, oh, God damn it. And you go all the way back and you redo it again. Like, it gets you so firmly
I
entrenched with
can't
those
believe you
characters.
went back and redid it because you lost
Dude,
Rex.
I
Well, the thing
redid
is
the
that
whole
like
game.
the choices that you made leading up to that point can severely affect whether you can actually
Your
save Rex or
relationships
not.
with him. Yeah,
Listen,
because
Yeah.
they're loyalty missions, right?
Ashley put a bullet in that man's head, and I was like,
Man, I was mad too. I was like, I could have, dude. I
I
was
You gotta
talking
do
to
it at least once, just to hear Shepard's classic line,
no, what
because
happened?
freaking Ashley comes up to you after he shotguns Rex in the face, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's
Are
like,
you
"I'm doing
okay?
better than him."
Him, I'm doing better than him.
Like, yo, I was like, that
Oh,
was so
man.
savage. Oh my god, like Shepard has some of the Renegade Shepard is so much fun. I know some
Kicking
people are
people
just
out
like,
of windows
how
and
can you
stuff.
be? Yo, I love that part in Mass Effect 2. With dude's getting all uppity with you. I'm the one that got the drop on you, bro. Like, yes, I'm the one that got your life in my hands, and you gonna get Brody with me? Kick him straight out the window.
I saw your clip of that. That was hilarious.
That is so freaking good, man. Like
this is what
there are
gaming
some
is.
moments. There are some moments. Renegade Shepard is just like, bro,
What are you doing?
this is like when you do Zaid's loyalty mission, and he's like, I'm just gonna let all these factory workers burn alive just
Yep.
so I can get this guy that betrayed me. And you're just like, bet, yeah, let's go. And these people are just literally just like the entire mission. They're just burning,
Dang.
blowing up, and you're hearing people screaming. And
Oh my
it
god.
just keep going. Try and catch this guy.
That's wild,
It's
bro.
some of the stuff is really really terrible, but
Your boy
hey.
Roy said I cut my console off instantly when Rex died. No, I was in shock, bro. I was in shock when she shot that dude. I was like, Ashley,
I already didn't really like her much anyway, and when she did that, I
Oh,
was
she's a
like,
racist.
Oh,
The
yeah,
space
yeah.
racist.
Straight up she's a speciesist.
Yeah,
man, she
she's
popped that dude
hilarious.
right. Yeah,
Oh man.
but that was the thing, yeah. But that was me. It was just like, I wanted to go through it, but it was like I was so indebted to my playthrough, dedicated to it. I was like, I'm just gonna keep everything the way it went. I only lost 2 people through the whole
Wait
thing,
for it. So I sent you some more gameplay because you've been using my X Defiant gameplay for like the past 2 shows. So I'm just like,
Oh, I
here's some
have?
extra stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
was
got
good
I
because
got
I been
some
sleeping. Cool.
I
Well,
got some gameplay for you there.
okay, so let's move on to the first topic, because, geez, we talked so much. Um, talk about the Nintendo Direct. That was the other day, a couple days ago. Um, really good show. I mean, they found ways to, in my opinion, they found ways to get more money out of people before this next gen system comes out over the course of the next year. Ramon, I mean, being you're mostly PC now. I don't know how you even partake in the Nintendo Switch ecosystem anymore. Did you check out the showcase? And if you did, what did you think about it?
So, as somebody who is largely immune to Nintendo's fairy dust magic, I there are certain games that they'll release that are must-haves for me, and there's very few of them. Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, was uh, what is the primary reason I have a Switch. So,
Hmm.
as far as the showcase, I didn't watch it because I didn't care. But I started seeing people posting, "Oh my god, this game's coming out. Oh my god, that game's coming out. What this?" And I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that sounds cool." And then somebody said an actual Zelda game where you're featuring Zelda, and I was like, "What?" So I
Hmm.
immediately looked for that. And the funny thing is, I played Link's Awakening way back, and I thought it was okay, but I was kind of lukewarm on it. So when I saw the art style, the type of game it was, that same format, I was like, but let's see what the gameplay looks like. And then I saw the gameplay, and I was like, okay, they got me, they got me. And Forte, shout out to you because on what was it on Brap's show when you said she's moving furniture around,
Man, she's moving
dude.
furniture around, bro.
I was drinking
Hey, before I
water,
say that,
and
the gameplay I
Yeah,
sent you was
yeah.
Ratchet and Clank.
Okay,
It's
that's
it's
it.
it's in 4K, so you probably gonna need to make
Never
some.
had. Yeah, yeah. That's what I see already.
This is why I
may
always told you have multiple sources for different resolutions. But go
I
ahead,
do, I
go ahead,
do, I
Ramon.
do, I do, I do. Go ahead,
No, I
Ramon.
just no, that made me laugh and gargle at the same time because I was drinking water, so you almost made me
So,
drown, but
so
that was
you're
hilarious.
talking about the Legend of Link, right? That's why I call that game the
Yeah, it's
Legend of
Legend
Link.
of Link because now
You
he's in
know,
the
it's not
tower waiting to be saved.
right.
No,
Which
I love it. I
I
love it.
knew that was going to trigger a bunch of the contingent that seems to be perpetually offended by everything that features one women or two minorities in any kind of prominent
Or
role that
heaven
isn't.
forbid, both.
Right. That any kind of role that isn't um being in the
Straight white man.
background, cheering on the what they believe to be the main who should be the main character, which demographic should be the main character, or being the villain, or being the victim that's rescued. It's just like that this is the only way they seem to be able to enjoy games, apparently. I don't know. But
It's
yeah,
it's crazy.
I'm
It's
not a
crazy.
big Zelda fan, but cool. Like how many times has Link been out here saving Zelda? With this
Saving,
one
I want a
game.
Breath of the Wild, or at least at the very least a Breath of the Wild DLC that's Zelda. Like I want that so bad. I don't know if we'll ever get it, but I would love that. But
depends on how this game does.
yeah, hopefully it does well. And I saw the Metroid Prime
And that
people
looks
talking
so
about that.
good.
The funny thing about Metroid, I never got into Metroid, and so I saw Metroid Prime. I'm like, it looks pretty good. Well, no, it looks great for Metroid fans and Nintendo fans. For me, it looked pretty good. Like, maybe I might dabble in it. I don't know. Um, as far as the Switch 2, the only way those fools are gonna get me to buy a Switch 2 is it's gonna have to be something extremely compelling Zelda related. Actually, yeah, that. Or, and then also if they happen to you know, remaster, or not even remaster, but do something, because I heard the performance in Bayonetta 3 was a little like the game is just too much for the Switch, so the performance was really bad
Mm-hmm.
because that was one that I had been really looking forward to. So assuming like if the Switch 2 comes along and it runs the two Breath of the Wild games better, and then, all three of the Bayonetta games better. If it does something like that, then, down the road, maybe a year or two after they launch the console, maybe I'll buy one then. But if it doesn't do any of that, then I really can't justify buying one because they don't, other than those two franchises, there's not really a whole lot for from Nintendo for me.
Hmm.
Is a look like a good show though, as far as the quality of shows go. Definitely strong show from the little bit that I watched.
Right. What about you, Slobo?
I think Metroid Prime 4 is probably a launch title for the what I like to call the Super Nintendo Switch. And if
Yep.
anyone starts using that label, they got it from me. And matter of fact, if Nintendo comes out and they call it that, I want royalties because they definitely was like, oh, that makes sense. We had
You
the
gonna
Super
go against them
Nintendo
them
three
them
three
mafia
decades.
lawyers,
Oh,
sir?
nah, I really don't want that smoke, honestly.
Well, some dudes in trench
Dude,
coats and hats and shades showing up at your door.
right, shoot, I'd be talking smack right now. It'd be a guy with some shades and in a 3-piece suit show up behind me and snap my neck.
Literally, the SNES police
No,
be out here.
it's gonna be Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci gonna show up at your door.
Facts.
Yeah, I think that game is a launch title for the new hardware coming out next year. As well, I know it's a lot of the titles that were shown, like the bigger games, were 2025 games. So I think that these are games that likely, because we heard that they had games that were ready to go. So these are likely, if they weren't launching new hardware, they would just have these games coming out with a release date sometime this year. But
Yeah.
because they got new hardware and they want people to kind of buy the new hardware while they get these games that are going to perform better, because they use NVIDIA for their chipset.
Mm-hmm.
And the current APU that's in the current Switch is woefully underpowered. It wasn't even the most powerful APU NVIDIA could have put in it back in 2017 when they launched it. But what they have now is for the new one, it's I forgot the exact like code name for it, but it should have access to upscaling with DLSS, which is the best upscaler that's out there, which should really help when it comes to performance. And if we've also, all the stuff is rumors, we've also heard that it will be backwards compatible. Like that would be for me a reason to buy the new one,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then I can play the games that like I have with better performance because of the better hardware and the upscaling to kind of make sure that I get 60 FPS. That's it. I thought Fantasian looked dope. That's a game that was made by is Miss Walker, who did Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey on the
I need to
Xbox
look that up.
360. Yeah, Fantasian it has been for years. I think maybe about 2 or 3 years, only been on Apple, on iOS. Apple got they for a while they just basically just being a mobile studio, all of last generation. And this is one of their games finally coming to this side of the market. And Fantasian just looks dope. It's something I've always wanted to play. I actually did buy it on mobile and just never played it because actually I may have played maybe the first 10 minutes of it, but I just can't play games on mobile like that. That's just me. Um, all that said, I thought it was a good show. Not a lot of it that was there for me, stuff that I was interested in. But I thought it was a good show. I thought it worked out where they really gave their base what they were looking for, and it just by the reaction successful. That was very successful for them, and I think those games and what they showed will carry them out for the rest of the year, and the sunset of the Nintendo Switch into the Super Nintendo Switch. So we'll see what happens though.
Yeah, one of the things I took away from that show is when they were showing Lego Horizon Adventures is not the fact that it's a PlayStation IP on Nintendo. I'm just waiting for Lego to make Lego sets about that. I want a Thunderjaw Lego set so I can put it together because I love Legos.
Ooh, man, that would be nice.
Man, I want one of those. So as soon as I saw that game, I was like, oh my God, please, Lego, please make Lego sets for this game. Make a
I
Lego
have
set.
We're
I
not
have
going to
never
discuss
wanted to.
Marvel versus Capcom until later on, huh?
Yeah. No, bro, I'm steering away from that. Listen, that was one game that I definitely was like, this would be really cool on the Switch. But then I was like, oh boy, I don't want to go on. I don't want to go on social media and say that because there's going to be particular people that's going to be very upset.
I
That's
gotta
not
say this real. I gotta say this though. I have never in my life been
man.
tempted to play a Lego game until I saw Horizon. And I'm like, because when I first was looking at it, I was like, yeah, whatever. And I wasn't paying attention. But then I actually looked at it. I'm like, this actually looks really good. I
It
mean,
does.
I'm still not sold on it. It's not in my wish list, but I'm
It
paying
should be
attention.
this Aloy got more expression to her than the
Oh,
one in the rest.
why did I start talking about it? I should have just kept my damn mouth
Like
shut.
this, I
I
was looking
had
at
to
this.
open my mouth.
I was like, this Aloy should have been the Aloy in the
Uh,
real game.
yes,
This
yes,
one
yeah,
actually
we
got a
know.
little bit of motion
Yes, we
to
know.
her.
She has emotions. She has blah blah blah. Let's keep it moving.
Okay, well, I'm
I
just
gotta
letting you
hear. I
know.
gotta hear this every time this comes up.
Shoot, I'm actually going to play that game because I was like, oh my God, at least she has range.
God.
No, but no, it was a good show. It was a good showcase. It just Nintendo does what Nintendo always does. It finds a way to convince you to possibly part with your money, and especially when you're a fan of some of their certain IPs. When it comes out to, like I said, my biggest thing is I want that Switch Lite, but I don't need it. But I want it because I'm a Zelda fan and I just like collecting Zelda stuff. So that's kind of the one thing that I'm like on a bubble with. But everything else, like that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom being in the inside of the Link's Awakening engine, I thought that was a really ingenious move. And I think they kind of saw the success of Princess Peach, especially with the movie being an empowered version of Princess Peach. They're trying to see
Yeah,
if they can. They're
yeah.
trying to see if they can maximize that with Zelda and see if they can do that with
Oh
her as a
man.
character too. And if they could pull it off, because I think Zelda has it's an even better chance of being one of those characters that they can do a show or like a movie around, because those original Legend of Zelda cartoon series, I love those things, man, when they used to make them back in the 90s and stuff. But it is what it is on that. But I will say that Stray is coming to it, and I still won't play as a cat on the video game. I refuse to do it. Not doing it.
That game was boring. I was extremely bored when
Was
I
it
played
really?
that game.
I
Yeah,
never got around to it. I
it,
kept
it,
planning
it
to.
No.
it's you're a cat and you're doing puzzles,
Yeah, right.
and
And cats are
and
already
I,
boring.
I think a
Wow.
lot of
Okay.
people that just love cats really and was just really hyped because this cat was acting like a cat.
Right, exactly.
All the
Because
cat
that's
mannerisms and stuff. Which is like,
mm-hmm.
look, if you like Stray, I'm not knocking it and not
Oh, yeah,
knocking you
definitely.
either. It's just
Nope.
it was not for me.
Cats are self-efficient animals that take care of themselves. And the thing is, they scare the hell out of me because they're so quiet. It's like I just get worried. And
No,
I'm like,
cats are mean. Cats are super mean, yo.
they are, well, no,
You
they're,
guys
they're
would like my
very,
cat.
they're more territorial than dogs. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. We'll talk about your cat later. What's your cat's name, by the way? Don't
Safari.
say
He's
Safari.
Savannah.
I thought you
No,
were gonna say
Safari
like,
with a T.
oh, Tafar. I thought you were gonna say something like meteorite or something. Some crazy name for your cat.
No.
All right, cool. So Nintendo Direct, The cool thing I will say, ending that topic, is the fact that I like that they came out, I want to say months ago, and told people, like, hey, there is a new system on the horizon. We're not talking about it anytime this year. So don't get any questions. Don't even ask us questions about it. So any showcase we do going forward for the rest of this year is going to be about the games that's coming this year and next year. I thought that they set the expectations around that, because pretty much nobody asked about, not like, it's the outside of people speculating, like myself, Slow Mo, and a couple other people saying that not Zelda, Metroid is pretty much going to be a cross-platform game, especially when it coming in 2025. It's probably the only conversation around what that new Switch is going to be. So that was really cool to see that. So moving on to the next topic, Maddie Plays did an interview with Todd Howard about, basically everything going on at Bethesda, since he's been a part of Xbox and the direction that they're going when it comes to Starfield, the success of the Fallout TV show, that literally made a lot of people wonder, like, why is there's nothing Fallout out? And then Todd Howard had some questions and answers about that, the future of what's going on with Elder Scrolls. And the biggest thing that I want to talk about is, they're basically putting all their eggs in the basket of Starfield right now. They're not doing anything related to Fallout at the moment when it comes to like remastering, because we know a lot of studios are doing remasters of all their games. I mean, we just talked about the Nintendo Direct. They had more remasters than actually newer games coming to that, coming to the systems in the future. So that seems to be where a lot of people are moving. But they're not doing that with the Elder Scroll games right now, and they're not doing it with Fallout games, even though those are things that they want. But a lot of people are talking about where the DLC and the look of the DLC, and like everybody's like really excited for Shattered Skies to come out. And I don't know, Ramon, I don't know how much you have played of Starfield, but I'll go to
Shattered
so
Space, you mean?
you want to say Shattered Skies? Yeah, Shattered Space. I'll go to you,
Oh
so because I
man.
know you. Well, shut up, Slow Mo. I will go to you first because I know
Why I
you.
gotta shut up for just getting the title right? Just say thank you.
Thank you, Slow Mo.
Just say thank you. Thank you. That's
Thank
all
you.
I do.
So did you listen to the interview and what he had to say and stuff?
I a little bit. I didn't watch the whole thing, but a little bit.
You ain't watched the parts where he was like going down his life journey about all the games he loved growing up playing. Basically, I get it.
Yeah, ain't nobody caring about that. I just
I
yawn thinking about him talking about stuff that I don't care about. So just look.
Go ahead.
I thought it was some good things to hear in regards to the future of Starfield and stuff like that, and the future of Bethesda in general. They plan on having, a story-based DLC on an annual basis, which
Yep.
is not a lot of studios are making that kind of dedication
Commit.
to a game,
Yeah.
a commitment. That's probably a better word. A commitment to one of their games that's a single player title at that. Anymore, we just don't see that anymore because it's very difficult to be able to keep up with that level of cadence, especially if you don't have like support studios. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But if you don't have a support studio kind of helping you maybe like free up some bandwidth for you so that they can drop a annual release while you're working on another one, so like maybe you're switching back and forth every other year. Like if you're just doing it all yourself, that's going to be depending on how big it is, that might be very, very difficult to execute. But appreciate the fact that they are continuing to support the game, continuing to put content out for the game, and that's great to hear. I know he talked a little bit about Fallout,
Mm-hmm.
and the success of the TV show, and I think it's smart that they're not like pushing to try to have something out to capitalize on that before the series ends, because it's just like, look, if you were clearly they didn't realize it was going to be this successful, and that's fine. But like, I would rather have a game, especially when it comes to Bethesda and how buggy their games have been in the past. I would rather have a game that's far more like being completed and being put out at a regular cadence than something that you kind of rushed out there to try to capitalize on a moment and capitalize on things that are happening in other forms of media. We've seen that blow up in a lot of people's faces, especially like Sony with Naughty Dog and The Last of Us Part 1, where on PC the PC build was unfinished and they pushed it out there anyway because the TV show was going on at that time. And it's just like all you did was kind of sabotage your own success. There's just no purpose in doing things like that. And I know there were some people that were like, hey, they should try to, get a game out in 3 years. Maybe they do, 2 or 3 more seasons of Fallout, and then they can kind of have something that's like, if those other seasons of Fallout were doing great. It's just like there's so many maybes or so many things that might not be worthwhile to go for. Like the first season was great, loved it. Second season a bomb. You just never know, right? You just never know how things turn out. Like people are talking about how the current season of The Boys sucks. And remember when The Boys first came out, how much attention it got? And people are barely paying attention to, I mean, people pay attention to it, but they don't pay attention to a degree that they once did when the first season came out. Now that's on its 4th season. If you make a game, more than likely, by the time a Fallout game, at the earliest it could be ready, you're looking at like a 4th season of the Fallout TV show. If anything, you're better off trying to get Fallout 76 to be able to scratch that itch for gamers who were enjoying the TV show, never really got into Fallout, but might want to give it a shot. I think Fallout 76 is probably their best bet for that kind of thing. But all that said, it's it's good to see that Starfield's getting more attention. The vehicles aren't quite in yet; those are supposed to be coming out later this year. I don't know if that's going to coincide with Shadow Space or not. The game on PC is far better optimized than it was at launch. I played it recently. I reinstalled it when they did the May update, and it runs fantastic on my rig. And it's all good to hear, man. Forte?
Yeah. I was like, I had muted myself. I do like the fact that they are committing themselves. It's like not saying that they're going to turn into a Starfield factory, but it looks like it's like the one praise that I seen a lot for Shattered Space is it looks completely different compared to the base game. It's like it seems like they're finally leaning into that Bethesda magic where it feels like it's like a space exploration game. So pretty much anything in sci-fi can go. I always felt like Starfield was kind of cookie cutter. Like it was like paint by numbers. It was like really cool environments, but it felt like too much of like something that you would normally see, compared to something like Outer Worlds where it's like kind of spectacle and stuff like that. And it's kind of out there and kind of the design that they want to have. Every time I looked at the trailer for Shattered Space, I was like, "Dog, this looks awesome," because these are things that when you look at it, you're like, I don't, I can't, I don't know what could be happening. Anything could be happening because of the way that they can tell the story. So, knowing that they're actually going to be diving into that is really cool. Ramon, I don't know if you listened to the interview or anything, or if you play Starfield, but if you have, what are your thoughts on just Starfield in general and the direction they may be going in with the game?
So, I did listen to the interview and I very much enjoyed it. And as far as Starfield goes, I want to, and I'll be fast, but I want to describe
No, take your time, bro.
an
No
ex, an
rushing
ex,
here.
oh, thank you. I want to describe my reaction to a game 2 generations ago on the PS3 to describe it's similar to my feelings towards Starfield. So about maybe a year after it launched, a game called Infamous came out, or I bought a game called Infamous,
Mm-hmm.
and I played probably about I don't know, maybe like 4 hours of it, 4 or 5 hours of it, and I hated it, and I traded it in, which is something I rarely do. And then, about 3 weeks, at over the course of 3 weeks, I started realizing that my headspace might not have been right because Infamous was on my mind, like, every couple of days, I would think about Infamous. And then finally, it was bugging me so much that I bought it again and then just freaking loved it, loved the franchise, have all the games, still have all the games, and have played through the series multiple times and just, I love those games. But so fast forward, Starfield. Now, I didn't hate Starfield when I first played it, but when I did first play it, I liked it. I more than liked it. Like, if like is a C, I would give it like maybe a shaving under a B, or maybe just go ahead and give it a B. So I liked it. But the and it ran like pre patch, it ran well on my rig. Like, I know it could have run better and it probably does now, but on my rig, which is probably about, I don't know, half as powerful as slow-mos, 4070 vanilla. I was still running it at 4K over 60 frames. Like, I was probably getting somewhere around 70-ish, maybe
Mm.
80, but and that was with DLSS and everything. But I enjoyed the game, so I was just like, they need to fix this map. I'm tired of accidentally landing on the at the wrong spot on these planets, and that was,
Mhm.
kind of frustrating. But overall, I enjoyed the experience, and the reason why I didn't enjoy it more is because I had just built my rig. Like, literally, it was the first game I played on my rig, and you know how, like, you first build your rig and you want to play something that really shows you what it can do, and
Hmm.
visually
You want
speaking,
to put it through its paces. You want to benchmark it.
Oh,
You want to,
I did
exactly.
that. I did that. I
stress some
know.
things. Yep.
Exactly, exactly. So Starfield is not a bad looking game, but it looked like a brand new shiny antique. You know what I mean? It's just, it didn't,
Hmm.
it wasn't visually
Shiny
represented.
antique.
you
God
know, so,
damn.
I
so
think it looks
I
better now than it did when it first came out. Like, some things that I've noticed, and when I reinstalled Starfield and I started playing it, and I was kind of playing Cyberpunk at the same time, because I got like 5 million different Cyberpunk characters and whatnot, and there's certain aspects. Now, look, don't shoot me. I'm not saying Starfield looks better than Cyberpunk. It does not.
Uh-oh, here
But
you go.
there are certain aspects of Starfield that are better. For example, hair on human hair. Like, they actually, like, I just little things that I noticed as I'm playing Cyberpunk so much, and I'm playing Cyberpunk 4K ray traced overdrive, which is path tracing. I'm looking at it at its very best, and
Mhm.
still hair is kind of like it's a weakness of the Red Engine
Right.
when it comes to how they render it. Whereas something that the Creation Engine actually does better is hair. So I'm looking at like characters when you're having conversations, and I'm just noticing because I've been playing these games side by side, kind of. I'm noticing that the hair is better, and I was kind of looking at like um things that I think they do as good as Cyberpunk is like the design, not design, but the rendering of outfits. Because like some of the suits, that the things that you wear in Starfield, I think as far as art direction wise, they're very bland, because they kind of went for I forgot what they called it, but it's like neo realistic. It's supposed to be look like something that would actually an astronaut would actually wear, or people would actually wear if they were out in space and stuff. But it doesn't look very uh exciting, if that, yeah, exciting. It doesn't look very exciting or cool. But when you look at the actual like detail they put in it, oh, it looks like something that is almost photorealistic. So I think the engine, and I think this happens a lot, because it's like we see developers who are very good at doing what they do, and we see their game engines, and we see where like how they implement certain things gets you see what the strengths and weaknesses are. And
Mm-hmm.
with Red Engine and CDPR, even though they've kind of put Red Engine to a side, and now they're going to be using Unreal Engine 5 going forward. And I think that's likely due to if you guys remember how they got hacked some years ago, and their entire engine and everything was sold on the black market. So I think they just decided to we're not going to do that no more. We're just going to go with Unreal Engine 5, where we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. But Red Engine renders ray tracing and so many great things so well, but then kind of is just okay when it comes to character models. Whereas you see with Decima Engine, and you see with games like Death Stranding, Horizon Forbidden West, they really nail the look of characters and hair very well, and environments are done well. But you see environments done better in like Unreal Engine and Red Engine and whatnot. So when it comes to visuals, I think Starfield looks good. It looks good, especially looks way better than what you saw from the Creation Engine in previous Bethesda games. So, but it's just like how I feel about their RPG elements. They're in their like the gunplay in Starfield. It's the best gunplay that's been in a Bethesda game, but that doesn't mean it's great. You know, it's like so it's good for you. You know what I'm saying? So like their RPG elements, I kind of talked about. I think it may have been one of my last time with Slow Mos that talked about specifically the Crimson Fleet faction art, how they had some writing issues and some plot holes that really rubbed me the wrong way. And I was saying how like BioWare and CDPR would, other Western RPG developers would never do these things or have these kind of holes. But it's still better, more interesting storytelling than I have experienced with previous Bethesda games. So it's still, for me, it's like, this is better than what you've done before, but it's still compared to your other, your other colleagues out here in the gaming industry. It's not quite there yet. And so that's why I kind of look at it with the visuals of Starfield. It's good, but it's just not when you compare it to the very best games out there. No.
Well, the funny thing, so the funny thing, Starfield, like everything you just said, pretty much like nails it. And shout out to Capono in the chat. He's like, you played an AMD game for your first game, bruh, and that's freaking hilarious. But
it is an AMD game.
yeah, but like after I stopped playing it, because I didn't finish it because I tried to, mainline it and then just do the new game plus that I'd been hearing about. But I got to kind of a point where I couldn't finish it because I didn't level up enough. So I was like, I'll come back and replay it later. And then like ever since they announced the patch, and then most importantly for me on a personal preference, not technical side, is they announced vehicles. And when they announced that, the game has been on my mind, and it's like it's kind of aged like wine for me in my head, because I'm like, I enjoyed it, but the more I think about all of the things in that game, the more I realize when I go back to it, I'm going to enjoy it a lot more, especially now that the performance is better. The visuals have been upgraded from, everything you've been saying, and then Shattered Space as well. And I'll be happy to kick them some funds for the DLC, because I was talking about the advantage of console. One of the advantage of PC, and granted, it doesn't happen often because you don't build a rig often, but I got a free copy of Starfield with my Ryzen 7 7800X 3D CPU, so that was nice. Uh, I'm up here in Canada, so that's $100 savings on just the game alone. But as far as the interview, I enjoyed the interview. I mean, it's Todd Howard, right? But I did enjoy the interview because it was nice hearing, like, just some of the things that they were talking about, the plans that they have, the way they think about the modding community, when he said, you know, I go back and I actually play our games and I'm blown away with this and that. And for me, that is one of the things that is the most unique in the entertainment industry, gaming in specific, is you can be part of this project beginning to end, lead the project, and then go back and play it, and it's just fresh and new and different. Like, you know what I mean? You can enjoy it. As an actor, you know, unless it's academic, I can't go back and watch, well, probably because, you know, I haven't done anything like Avengers yet. But like I don't typically watch what I've done unless it's academic. And, you know, as an author, like no author goes back and reads their own books because that's just weird. Not to mention we already know what's going to happen, so that's just strange. But you know, I thought it was a good interview for that, and it was nice to, you know, I mean, obviously they're hard at work on Elder Scrolls, and he wouldn't talk about it, but it was at least nice to hear that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to vehicles. When they put the vehicles in, that's when I'm going to jump back in, and then I'll get Shattered Space because it looks like a whole tone change. And as long as they don't go horror, I'm on board. So
Y'all so
um,
scary, bro.
yo, I admit it, and I
I
don't shrug.
appreciate
I don't shrug away from it. My ass is scared. So
I appreciate that. It's just I don't know. I mean, like I said, I never knock anybody's fear because there's certain things that I wouldn't do. But it's like every time it's part of the time I be thinking y'all be trolling. It's like there's no way y'all like what really. And then when slow mo tells me, and he literally made a tier that's 50 something dollars to make him play a game because he don't want to play horror games, and if somebody's willing to do it, then he'll
No,
do
it's
it.
not just horror games because like people tried to make me play Death Stranding, which isn't horror. It's just boring, and I
and he
don't want to
still
play
won't
it.
play Stranger's Wrath for me, and that's a damn good game.
Sure will not.
What kind of game is that?
It's part of the Oddworld series, but it's the game
Oh,
is, well, number one, it's fun, and number two, it's hilarious. The game is freaking
I'm
hilarious,
falling
and it's
asleep thinking about it.
oh,
oh my
so
god.
slow mo. See, listen, man. Sometimes we just got to make slow mo do certain things because
No,
he
what?
at one point slow mo didn't particularly care for Souls games, and look where he is now. 700
There's a
hours in
huge
a Souls
difference.
game.
There's a
No,
huge
it's not.
difference.
You didn't even
Yes.
play Souls games
Yeah, not
until
really.
Yeah, I
we got.
did.
Not
No, that is definitely
I played Demon Souls remake.
no. And what did you say?
I said I liked it.
You slow mo. You played Demon Souls remake
Yeah.
after we told you like, hey, you need to try these games out slow mo because you up here saying they're he said they're janky and all
No,
this
I
other
said
stuff.
it looks
Yeah,
janky.
it
There's a
looks
difference.
yeah, it
The
looks
word
janky.
looks,
And get
it makes
looks
sure
janky.
clarifies that
Listen,
I have not
the
played them
game. Listen,
before, but
listen. The
I'm looking
game
at it
looks.
and I don't like the way it
Listen,
looks.
listen. The game
well, you
looks
said the same thing
janky.
about Stranger's Wrath, and you probably could end up liking it,
Exactly.
sir.
That's what I'm trying to say. The same thing he did with the Souls
Can we
games.
get back on
He
topic?
ended up
What
so
is the
he
topic? You didn't even striking out the daggone topics list. I have no idea which topic we're on right now.
shut up. All right. All right. We're still talking about Starfield. So for me, I guess I'll talk about the fact that I really like that they're focused in the direction they want to go. Like it's unfortunate that they don't have anything ready for Fallout. I mean, but then again, they consistently are always talking about new DLC for Fallout 76, and I will say this, the people that do play Fallout 76 consistently still to this point really enjoy the game. It's just that something I've never got into, and it's like that games of a service little, niche thing where it's like if you're not in on the ground level, it's kind of hard to like get in because you have all these perceived barriers in front of you. Like I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that, even knowing there's a huge community of people out there that would show you how to do it, but I ain't got time for that, So that's kind of how it goes with games like that. So I'm happy to see the direction that they're actually moving in, and they announced that 14 million players have played Starfield. So You know, it would be nice to know how many copies of the game it sold, but you know, Xbox is never going to give us numbers like that ever again. So, with
Yeah,
that being,
sure.
yeah, they're never going to give us that again. So, speaking of players and numbers and things happening on Xbox, Call of Duty multiplayer and zombies won't be included with the base Xbox Game Pass tier. Now, a lot of people been like speculating was like, well, they never were like there is no the base Game Pass tier is Game Pass Core, and that doesn't get Game Pass. And I'm like, no, they're talking about basic Game Pass for what would be I think basic Game Pass is like 14 like what 12.99 a month or 11.99 a month.
11, I think now.
Yeah, 11.99 a month.
As of right now, yeah, I think 11.
So basically, Call of Duty will be in Game Pass for everybody, but they basically said the only thing you get is campaign. You're gonna get campaign. That's it. And Warzone was already free, so you don't have to
Right.
really worry about that. So campaign's the only
That's what
thing.
most people play anyway.
Yeah. Campaign is going to be the free part inside the Game Pass, and then Warzone will be free for everybody.
But let's break that down for a moment. Okay,
Yeah.
so a lot of Call of Duty players, the vast majority, I'm not I don't do this, but I will admit the vast majority of Call of Duty players do this. They play the multiplayer until the new season, because so after the game launches, they play the campaign to unlock characters, unlock skins, characters and stuff, unlock weapons. Then they also play the multiplayer to further unlock weapons, level them up, get all the attachments unlocked, all that good stuff. They do that for a few weeks until the new season comes out. So they have access to these new weapons that are, will be different, for however the new Warzone is. And typically they want to use those weapons more than the previous ones that were in Warzone before the new game came out. So everyone that plays Call of Duty plays it for more than what you're getting in this Game Pass core. Not Game Pass core, Xbox Game Pass tier. Because the PC Game Pass is getting the version of the game that has everything, whereas the Xbox Game Pass one is the one that's just getting apparently the campaign.
Just the campaign.
They know that a vast majority of the people who, you kind of break it down. The PC platform has the most Call of Duty players. Then it's PlayStation. Well, first it's mobile, then PC, then PlayStation, then Xbox. And PC Game Pass is on PC and Xbox, but a lot of those people already just buy it on Steam now that it's on Steam or Battle.net. And sure, if you're in the PC community, which is like I think about the last time I saw those numbers is when during the ABK hearing and Bobby Kodak put them out there. The PC community is bigger than the PlayStation and Xbox community combined.
Yeah,
those people, if they get PC Game Pass, they get the full game. They get the multiplayer, the zombies, the campaign, or Warzone's free, as we said. So this really is really just the Xbox Game Pass users. If you just got regular Xbox Game Pass, no Ultimate, which I don't know for certain, but I've heard far more of the Game Pass members are on Ultimate than regular Xbox Game Pass. So this is really affecting a very small percentage of gamers. And they can choose, but this may be them trying to convert more people to Ultimate, trying to entice people. Hey, just upgrade. Just upgrade the Ultimate if you want that, or just buy the game outright like you've been doing. So for them, I think that's in their eyes a win-win. And if you are someone that wanted to try the game out, hey, I know multiple people who don't like Call of Duty multiplayer, but like Call of Duty campaign. They may be just fine with this. I wasn't gonna play the multiplayer anyway. I just wanted to play the campaign. Bet. I'm gonna go and play the campaign and uninstall it.
Yep.
So I think it's not that big a deal, honestly. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If you were into multiplayer and zombies and all that good stuff, you've been buying the game every single year anyway, and not getting the $70 version, like getting $100, with the battle pass and extra CP and all that other stuff, and the black sale version and all that. You've been doing all that extra stuff anyway, so it's whatever.
Yeah, I always look at that, and I agree 100% with you. I do think that it's more of just the optics of it, mostly when it's like, especially with Xbox right now, every little thing that Xbox comes out and says that could be controversial in any regard kind of just throws it for a loop. It's like they announced that it's coming to Game Pass, but then a week later or 2 weeks later they say, well, it's not coming to all Game Pass subscribers, like the full game isn't. So it's like a message. It's like it's always a messaging thing with Xbox. It's like, would this have been even something that people were talking about if Xbox would have just came out day one and said, hey, Xbox, Call of Duty's coming to Game Pass, to all Game Pass Ultimate editions for anybody that wants to play the full game. If you're on anything lower than Xbox Live, Ultimate or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, all you'll get access to is the campaign. If they would have said something like that from the very beginning, then I think it would have been like, okay, that's fine. And that's kind of the direction a lot of people thought they were going to go anyway, because we always thought that Game Pass was going to end up being a tiered system where a lot of the games were going to be kind of locked in the higher tier of what Ultimate is, because they're not
Hey,
going to really raise the price of basic Game Pass. Ultimate will be the one where
shoot,
they do it. I think Ultimate is where you're
shoot.
going to see it. No,
I
they
think they're
can't.
gonna raise it all.
No, they can raise it all. I do think they
Before
will raise it all, but
that game
I
comes
think
out in
you'll see
October, right?
Ultimate
Comes out in October,
24th,
right?
October 24th. You think you're going to get raised before it comes out?
Yes, I think we
Yep.
will see a
Right
raise before it
before.
comes out.
Right
Well,
before.
no, not right, because I think they told the FTC they would not raise Game Pass prices due to Call of Duty. So they need
Oh,
to
that's
do
right. I
it.
forgot about that.
They
Yeah.
they need to do it at some like point a month or two or so before it comes out in order to justify, oh, we just did it for regular business purposes.
Is it going to be because
It's
of
not Call of Duty.
Avowed?
Well,
Maybe.
no, they just say, hey, look, we needed to raise Game Pass because just cost of business is what it is. They'll come up with some other reason. It's not, and if it's not immediately right before Call of Duty, then there's no way the FTC can say, aha, you
I
did this because of
wonder.
Game Pass. I'm
So
sorry,
this.
because of Call of Duty.
So okay, and I want to hear what you got to say about this, but this is the thing that I kind of think about. They have the metrics. I Part of me believes that there's more people still not paying month to month than anything. I feel like there's more people still in that window of like a year left on their Game Pass or a year and a half left on it, especially people in Ultimate. Like, I think there's more people probably paying month to month that's on Game Pass, like basic Game Pass. But when it comes to Ultimate, I think the majority, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think the majority of the people that's on that tier are people that have like months and years left, to the point where a price increase really won't even affect them yet. Like for me, and I don't know about for you and for you guys, for me, I'm still good to 2026. So if they raise the price, it doesn't affect me for another 2 years. And I know there's a lot
I'm
of
good until next year, but my son's Game Pass, because when he got his own PC, he can no longer, his account, for some reason, his account is only a child account on Xbox. On PC, they don't do child account. So
so you can't share that way.
right, so I had to give him his own Game Pass. So he has PC Game Pass for just him. And so he's got I pay $10 a month for him. I'm
You
month
pay
to
the
month for
monthly.
him.
You're month to
Right.
month for him.
But for me and my daughter's a child account under my account. So I got
But he's
Game
under
Pass
just
Ultimate for mine.
but he's just under
Hmm.
regular Game Pass though, right?
Well, yeah, but PC Game Pass. PC Game Pass did not get the price increase like the way the Xbox Game Pass did, and it's like it gets like
just get
we.
well. He
Like you
doesn't
talk about Call of Duty, he's not playing Call of Duty, but like take about
right.
like Call of Duty for example. PC Game Pass basically gets the same, from what I saw from that tier list, the same features and the same benefits as Game Pass Ultimate.
No, they just don't get console.
They just don't get console, but they don't care. Like if you got PC Game Pass, you
Well,
don't
that's what
own
I'm
the
saying.
Xbox.
That's
So
what I'm
what?
saying. You don't get console,
Yeah,
and you don't pay for online. So it's
right.
basically
But
yeah,
you get EA Play,
yeah.
you
You get
get
all that
Ubisoft
stuff.
Plus, you get
Yeah,
all these extra features that come with Game Pass Ultimate. But if you have Xbox Game Pass, not only do you not get PC, you don't get EA Play, you don't get all the bonuses that come to Game Pass Ultimate. It's the
yeah,
reverse for
exactly.
PC Game Pass. When Call of Duty comes out, everything that PC Game Pass gets, everything that Game Pass Ultimate gets for Call of Duty, PC Game Pass is getting the same thing. But Xbox
Yeah,
Game Pass is not. And so
I
that's
just,
the
yeah.
difference.
Well, I just think because I do think they're going to raise the price definitely at some point. I just wonder, are they going to raise the price when they see their metrics say that the majority of their Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers are going to be up in that calendar year? Like they'll be
What is it now? June. So they
it's-
showed the game in June, right? They showed the
yeah,
game in June. Comes out
showed
in
it in
October.
June
So we got
in October.
June, July, August, September. That's five. We got 5 months until it comes out.
Hmm.
Halfway through that would be August. I predict in August we will see the price increase.
What you think? Like $2, $3?
I'm thinking I don't know about like maybe for Ultimate
Ultimate right
probably
now is
what
17.
$17,
Yeah,
17.
yeah. It went up.
Let's bump
It
that
went
up to
up.
20.
Yeah, it went up
Let's
$2 earlier, like late last year.
1999 per month for Ultimate, and for Xbox Game Pass $12.99.
They just moved it up another dollar. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely happen. I mean, we're paying $23 for Netflix right now, and we can't even share passwords.
Right.
So,
And
so,
then
so.
PC Game Pass, they ain't gonna touch it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
still gonna be $9.99
because
because
they'll
you
lose
can't.
everybody. They'll lose
Exactly, because
everybody.
it's the difference.
They'll lose everybody.
I was
Oh, man.
offline, Forte, I was telling you, I was like, there's a difference between PC gamers and console gamers. PC gamers stand on business.
That they
That they do.
Console gamers bend over. And you look, if you're a console gamer, you're offended by that, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Y'all bend
Oh,
over and take whatever. PC gamers stand on
Yeah.
business. Go ahead and raise the price of PC Game Pass and see what happens. They'll make an example out of you, even if it is justified or not, whether it doesn't matter. They will, if they feel slighted in any kind of way, if they feel like you're trying to get over on them, if they feel like you're being unfair to them, they will make an example out of you. They will band together. And, hey, shoot, we rather just buy the game on Steam anyway.
right.
So unsub and sure you're going to see those numbers on Steam, but we know what they really want. They want the subscription. They don't really care for the individual sale. They want that subscription. And you see those numbers fall, they know better. I don't think they
Right.
would. I mean, like I criticize Xbox leadership frequently, but I don't think they would be this
You
foolish.
name call Xbox leadership frequently.
Hey, look, man, it's all in fun. It's not meant to be taken personally. If they do take it personally, then I don't know, get some tougher skin, as they have once said to a brother who didn't like a joke, a slavery joke when he
yeah,
worked
that's right.
for Mixer. So like, yeah, I mean, look,
That's so.
it's no big deal.
You're so.
No,
Remi-
what I'm saying is that like I do think that they would be that foolish. I think that they would say we gotta leave the PC community alone. It doesn't matter how unfair the Xbox community may believe it to be. We can't make that kind of move because it would just be counterproductive. because this is what will happen. You're going to end up losing money, losing out on revenue instead of gaining revenue because people will unsub. And so the people who do stay and you get the price increase on them, it's not enough to offset the people that you lost that was paying $9.99 per month. It's just not worth it.
I want to disagree with you so bad, but then I just literally watch PC fandom just dunk on Sony about being able to log into a free PSN
free
account.
launcher.
Just free.
You don't even have to put your credit card down. You could literally create a email specifically for this, not put any of your personal information in there, and do that. Not put a credit card down, and you are fine for any of these Sony games. And they said, nope.
I
don't want to do that,
bro. To the point where they almost killed that game overnight. It's like, yo, they almost killed this game overnight. But
dudes were pretending, and look, there is a real issue with the way Sony sold that game in countries that did not have PSN, knowing that eventually that PSN would need to, and that is something that needs to be addressed, and Sony should be called out for that. But the hand wringing and the righteous, self-righteous, I would say, indignation from a lot of these PC gamers who basically they just didn't want to sign up for PSN, and they used that as an excuse. And we don't know why. I know that they didn't really care, because as soon as Sony bent the knee and didn't do that with Helldivers and made it optional, they went back to playing the game. Even though Sony banned the game in 180 countries, even though Sony went and just straight refunded people who had been enjoying the game up until that point.
Because it didn't affect them anymore.
It didn't. Exactly. It don't affect you no more. So now you don't care no more. And I'm just like, what happened? The fight's not over, PC Gamer. The fight's not over. Why aren't you fighting for your brothers in Zimbabwe? Oh, now you don't care no more. It's over for me because I got what I wanted. I ain't want to sign up for this free launcher. You're hypocrites. Being hypocrites, they are a united group of hypocrites. So even though they're being hypocrites,
it's a strong movement of hypocrites over there.
Right. Even though they're being hypocrites, you can't knock the standing on business aspect of it, because they're going to do what they're going to do. And if you want that money, you better go ahead and just give them what they want.
Facts.
Or you can end up like Epic. Brandy says united in hypocrisy. Exactly.
So Ramon, what do you think about
the hypocritic oath? Go ahead.
So what do you think of what do you think about the direction they're going with Call of Duty? And do you think other games, like what other games do you think is possible this could happen to in the future?
Anything that has a live service element or has an additive element to it, I can see being separate from Game Pass. And I mean, look, like, I get it. Like, I understand it. And I mean, and this is coming from somebody who has no intentions of subbing to Game Pass. And I mean, it's a lot to sustain. And quite frankly, Xbox is not sustaining Game Pass. Microsoft is. I know Phil Spencer says, it's sustainable and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I don't believe that, because we haven't seen that. But I'm not, and that's not me trying to throw smoke. I mean, that's just what I see. But, I think it's fair that you have the full base game in the service, but then, any kind of additives, cost extra, because I mean, you're already getting hours and hours and hours of content out of any single title that you might choose. So, anything like, adding on zombies or adding on, DLC missions, or like with Forza car packs and track packs and things like that, and then even like, early access, which is a funny concept to me because if it's early access, that means the game is already finished. But um, stuff like that, they got to figure out a way to get it monetized. And I remember when there was news when they said that, they were considering whether or not to put COD in Game Pass, which I mean, to be frank, they had to. But I'd be willing to bet. Well, I mean, there's no real willing to bet. It's probably exactly true. They wish they didn't have to put that game in Game Pass because I mean, the money that it generates off of sales is insane. So any way they can kind of get some supplemental income out of this game, they're gonna do it. And I mean, my personal opinion, it doesn't really seem unfair to me because you're getting the whole game. And then,
Mm-hmm.
all the extras, you just have to, pay for the extras. But you're getting the game and you don't have to have those extras. You've already got the base game. So I mean, that's my opinion. It doesn't seem unfair to me. And I think that we are gonna see more of that, especially if not anything else, especially for their enormous tentpole titles that cost like so much to maintain. I mean, how big is Activision? Like all the studios that form Voltron to bring this game out every single year. That's a lot, man. That's a lot to maintain. So they gotta make that up somehow.
Right. So, Slobo, you go ahead and get everything going because I sent you the thumbnail for the other thing. So you could just because I
You
want you to at
did?
least, yeah, I sent it to you. It's on
Okay,
the
I just
it's a
sent.
DM.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want you to at least get at least 50 minutes to an hour on the other show because my hard stop is at 8:10 because I got to be there at 8:30. So,
Okay.
um, I want you to at least get an hour on the other show on the other channel with it. But no,
You,
the
you you
one
see
thing
what I just put in the chat?
in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
no. Put in
Sent
the
this man game footage for no reason.
Oh no, I had that. Yeah, I was actually downloading it when we were talking, and yeah, I'll have it for next
Uh-huh.
time. But
Uh-huh.
shut up, be quiet. You're always talking mess about me. Leave me alone. I listen.
I'm not
Listen.
talking
I am.
mess.
Listen. I have not slept well in the last month, so it's a lot going on. But what I was about to say. I do want to say this about the whole thing with Call of Duty. You guys are right. I don't. It's not a big deal. It makes sense to me that they're doing this, but they're really doing this mostly due to the fact that they're trying to make revenue up for the most part. They don't want to lose more revenue because they're already not selling enough, in other areas to make that revenue up there. But let me ask you this, Ramon. What is Game Pass is still in your mind, do you think Game Pass is still the future for Xbox?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Um, I think that it's got a contingency attached to it. I
Mhm.
think Game Pass is the future if they can get that sub level up. And I mean, I'm obviously I don't run the business. I'm not in the business. I'm not a mathematician. Yada yada yada. So this is just my
Mhm.
speculation. I think they need to get those numbers up beyond what Phil Spencer said their target goal is. Like, a lot of people like to talk about Sean Layden's math, but there's a reason Sean Layden threw that exorbitant number out there to make it a viable service. Because I mean, with a caveat, unless they really scale their most of their games back to where they don't cost any more than like in the low to mid tens of millions to make, because anything approaching $100 million with the number of studios they have and
Mhm.
everything is it's just crazy. They're gonna need like a crap ton of subs to do that. Like so if they achieve that metric, like, creeping towards, I don't know, like 80 million, 100 million subs or something, which sounds like insane to me.
Mhm.
Uh I see Game Pass being a supplement but not the future.
Right.
Um So yeah, I think if they can hit beyond the numbers that Phil says they want to hit, then it can be the future, but otherwise, nah.
So
Like,
so in your opinion, what's the win comp for them to hit that number? What do they have to do? Is it even possible?
see, that's my thing is I'm not even sure it's possible, and the reason I say that is like to consume the average game, like unless you're playing a really really small indie, the average like I mean even indies, you can have an indie that's anywhere from 3 to 10 hours, in some case a little more. So I mean, the average person doesn't play fast enough or enough
Right.
to warrant having a subscription, an ongoing subscription. They're counting on you forgetting that you are subscribed, just like the rest of them. Same thing with Netflix, Disney Plus, and whatever. They're counting on you subbing, forgetting, and it's just another auto debited bill that comes out of your account because even the most prolific gamers, like for AAA games with the size that they are, even the most prolific gamers would have to really be doing something to, warrant uh the subscription cost, on an annual basis. So, and we have subscription fatigue too. People are getting tired of subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of one of them. So, I just don't I do struggle to see a world where Game Pass starts hitting 50 million, 60 million, 70, 80 million, and COD, people buy it. Casual COD players, they buy it. Like hardcore COD players, they buy it, and then they might get new subscribers that are like, "Oh man, COD, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it, check it out." But generally speaking, people just buy it, and other people will sub for a month, play what they want to play, and then they'll drop out,
Right.
you know? Like with Hellblade 2, I want to play it, but I'm not 100% on it. As much as I love the first one, I'm still kind of not sure about the second one. And since I'm new, I would be new to Game Pass on PC. I'd sub for that dollar, play the game. And if I love it, then I'll buy it. But I'm gonna sub for that dollar for the month, play that, and then since Ubisoft Plus is in it, maybe play Lost Crown. And if I like it, I'll buy it. But then like after I sub, I'm gonna immediately go for the option that says let it lapse once it's over because I don't want a monthly bill and I don't play fast enough for the games that are in Game Pass for me to get my money's worth anyway. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to be, I think they've got a really big challenge to get, the number of subs that they want to get to.
That's a really good point. And Slomo has the other channel, so I'm about to get ready. He already dropped the if you don't see the redirect, you can just hit the link in the chat that Slomo put there. So I'm about to send this over there. But the biggest thing the last thing I want to say, as